Welcome to the 35th year of Holiday Magic, presented by Carter Subaru. A day of giving to benefit Treehouse, helping make the holidays brighter for children and youth in foster care. Live on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM and streaming live on the KIRO Newsradio app.
Treehouse has been that helping hand when you've been down.
It's the only reason why I'm here right now, to be honest with you.
Abby Lehman is applying to college now, but a few short years ago, she wasn't even sure she could get her high school diploma. At 16 years old, Lehman went to foster care. Her description of those years is bleak.
I spent a lot of nights sleeping on the office's floor, living in hotels, being shipped out of state, being moved place to place, and not having transportation to get to school or even having a meal.
But in the darkest hours, when we find ourselves trapped between the walls of circumstance, we sometimes find that a shimmer of kindness burns as bright as the sun.
So when Treehouse did come into my life,
Lehman found hers.
I can get my high school diploma, which I never honestly thought was possible before Treehouse.
Treehouse was founded decades ago by a group of social workers looking to give foster kids the support they need, help with studies, stipends to keep themselves fed, and a proverbial torch to illuminate the path out of poverty. Lehman says few of her needs were met by social programs, and Treehouse was there to fill in the cracks, a group that has never asked for anything in return.
It's feeling like someone actually cares enough to support me, and someone cares enough to be on my side, which is not something I've experienced in foster care.
Now, the John Curley and Shari Elliker Show.
Sam did a pretty good job, a really good job of sort of just touching briefly on the beginning, the true genesis of a Treehouse. And I'm sitting here with the CEO. Sure, I get the CEO here. This is the kind of people I get, yeah.
Very fancy.
Dawn Rains. And Dawn, so you told me that it was actually people that were in the social work business that had seen kids that had needs, and they said, well, I'd like to help this. So either they would give the money themselves out of their own pockets, or they do bake sales or whatever else they could possibly do to raise some funds. So that was the true beginning of this. One adult seeing that a kid needed something so simple as a coat or something like that, and then it began.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There was a group of social workers who were just tired of seeing all the kids on their caseloads going without all the little extra things that make a childhood a childhood. So they started raising money amongst themselves for things like birthday presents and summer camp and swimming lessons and, prom tickets. And pretty soon sort of grew into its own thing and became a separate nonprofit organization. And we started collecting clothing because kids often come into care with just what they're wearing, so they need to be completely outfitted. And Treehouse has grown from there. Yeah. We are also 35 years old this year, so
wow,
our histories are matched.
Yeah, and the other thing is that since KIRO has gotten involved, and we're proud to be a part of this whole experience, and Carter Subaru being one of our prime sponsors for this in the studio here. At this time of the year, when people think, well, I'm going to give somebody a gift, $10 or $15, or I normally give Shari $3, but it's my gift. But it's more the thought that counts, right, Shari?
Oh,
but
yeah.
For people that are at home, call somebody, so, rather than shopping around and trying to find you something, $25 or $35 a month or $100 or $200 or whatever it is, give a gift to Treehouse and really affect somebody's life, as opposed to just buying some gift that doesn't mean anything to a relative that you feel you have some sort of obligation to buy for. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Yes.
I wish I could have all of your listeners come to Treehouse and come to our store and see what it is like for a young person to be able to come, or their foster parent to come and shop for everything they need: holiday gifts, warm coats, clothing. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of everything that we do to support young people in foster care. But it's a little bit at this time of year like being able to be Santa Claus for a whole group of kids who might not otherwise have something to open on Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Dawn,
we were
talking a lot about the raising money for this unbelievable organization. I'd like to ask you about people that are volunteering for the organization. I'm sure you have many, many volunteers that have given their time and their love to helping a child get from point A to point B and whatever it is it happens to be that they need. Do you need more volunteers?
Yeah, we absolutely always need volunteers. Lots of opportunities to get involved. Like I just mentioned, the store. We rely on volunteers to help us staff and stock that store. Volunteers in the community actually do donation drives and collect clothing. One of my favorite volunteers was a woman who did every year in what she called the Undie 500, and she collected underwear and socks. Lots of creativity, fun opportunities to really make a difference in the lives of kids.
And that opportunity begins with a phone call. And by the way, for a lot of our listeners that have never used a phone before, you find the number that I'm calling, that I'm telling you, and then you find that on the screen of your phone, and then press.
Yeah, and don't be afraid of the people answering the phone. They'll be very nice to you.
Right. That's another thing. We should warn you. There will be a human being on the other end, and they will be alive. So that should be just a warning. So for everybody, forewarned, if you're under the age of 30, 1-888-973-5476, your way to give, or 1-888-973-KIRO, KIRO, or you go to mynorthwest.com. And by the way, you can also see all of the items that we have up for auction. And I don't want to seem petty and small, but that my middle name, Petty Small. And we got to beat Jack and Spike, because come on. I mean, holy moly. Nothing just captures the complete gloominess of the holiday spirit like Jack does. And we have to beat him. Have to. I don't know what the last number was that people sit in with those guys, but we will, because a buddy of mine already told me he will make sure.
Good.
I should tell you, it's going to be a huge number.
And the last people, the people that won it last year had a great time, if you remember. They had the best time.
Yes, they did. And I think even some folks came and they hung out with me up at the barn. Shari, also for Seahawks fans, what do you got? I know you're a big Seahawks fan. What is the item for a Seahawks fan that wants to be able to donate?
Well, this package, you'll receive 4 club-level tickets to the December 31st game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, 4 sideline passes, and an opportunity for a photo with Blitz, an autographed football from Geno Smith, another autographed football from Rick Woolen, and 2 Seahawks baseball caps. Also, if that's not all, it's amazing. And a throwback jersey and a flag.
But not just any flag, Shari, but what type of flag? As Jacob would say, a flag with a big 12 on it?
Number 12, that's right. A number 12 throwback jersey and a number 12 flag. Is that right?
No.
Oh, what is it?
12.
What's 12?
Throwback. The 12th man. You know that.
12th man.
You're just playing dumb.
Okay.
Don't be doing that. Yeah, 1-888-973-5476 to be a part of the tradition of giving and making sure that the holiday magic continues with its overwhelming support.
Flag
Yes,
with the number 12 on it.
Yes, thank you, Jacob. That's exactly how we describe that. Did you hear that, by the way? See, Jacob used to be our producer, and then he went away to management. Now he's all like sneaky. You know how management is, because you're the president of
Your management,
yeah, you know it is. You sneak around, spying on people. 1-888-973-5476. I have not gotten the official word yet, Joe. Have you found out whether or not I can put my secret duper item up yet? Just got to get this thing cleared with management, lawyers. You know how it goes. Dawn, you know how it works. A big CEO over there. Because we would love to be able to offer this, because that will just blow everybody out of the water. We do it as a competitive thing, but ultimately in the end, everybody wins. And the other is, it's just holiday, it's just gifts. It's not.
It's not.
So a kid who's in 8th grade that is struggling, and the idea of going on to high school seems unbelievably intimidating. Treehouse provides educational support as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have Treehouse education specialists all over the state providing support to young people who are in either 8th grade or high school. We help them monitor their attendance, their behavior, their course performance. We do coaching, help them set goals, map the steps to get there.
Right.
And ultimately, over these last 10 years, we have increased the high school graduation rate for kids in foster care by over 20%.
That's
wow.
amazing. See?
That's great.
That when we talk about fundamentally changing lives, that
Absolutely.
is exactly it. And as much as the government does, they can't possibly have that one-on-one.
Absolutely.
Know the name, know the concerns, know the kids and what's going on way behind the scenes, and having just a friendly ear and just having somebody there that is able to follow them along the way. The success stories must just completely blow your mind? Because you've been in this for so long, right?
Absolutely. And I have to say, one of my very favorite times of year is in June when our seniors are graduating, and we do little videos where they say what they tell us what graduation means to them, and also where they see themselves in 5 years, or what they eventually want to do, and the number of them who are first generation high school graduates is really incredible. And then also how many of them say, I'm doing this to set a good example for my siblings. It was really important for me to graduate to show them that it was possible, and that hopefully that they will stay on that path as well.
Yeah, this is our CEO, Dawn Rains from Treehouse. I remember a story a couple of years ago, I'll never forget it. A young girl showed an interest in photography, Shari, and she said, I think I might want to take some pictures. I think I'd like to do photography. So Treehouse, because of the listeners of KIRO Radio, gave the money. She got a camera, went to school, went to college, studied photography, and now she's a professional photographer.
Yep.
But she showed an interest, I think, at the age of like 12. Well, now her whole life is because somebody gave $150, got her the camera, and it started off. You just never know.
Absolutely. Our kids in foster care oftentimes don't have adults to reflect back to them what they're good at, where they see talent or promise, and so oftentimes, our Treehouse team are that single important, consistent adult for our young people, and can really help wrap around those supports and identify that thing that they really want to do and that they end up loving and could end up being a career.
Absolutely. It is this. When you call, you realize you're part of it. You're like a one pebble into the pond, but it ripples and ripples. And the pebble can be $10, $20, 30, 40, or 50, 100,
Absolutely.
whatever it is. Or it could be like close to $7,000. Whoops. That's the amount of money, Shari, that we're going to get for this special item. By the way, KIRO people, the management folks, make that 5? Okay, good. All right. You want to go to some more music again?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Laura's standing by for another fabulous song from our Grammy-winning performer.